What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 39 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Thorgrim Grudgebearer Old World campaign. Modded should be in there somewhere as well. Anyway, as we saw last time, we have made contact with the Skaven Blight Skaven at last and their pretty massive empire, though we have managed to at least split it in half here with the help of the Sigmarsheim manlings, who are weirdly doing just as well, if not better, in Bretonnia than the Bretonians themselves. I don't know what to chalk that up to, but well, good work to Sigmarsheim. They've reclaimed Mousillon, which the Bretonians have struggled to do for so many years, and I don't know, showed them up a little bit. But anyway, Berneth Barak and his machinist army got their first battle. Of course, they are waiting for 2 engineers, and we got in the first one there. It's an innovator. I would have really preferred a engineer that had the thing that reduces the cooldown for flash bomb, but you know, there's no guarantee that we'll get one, so I'm not waiting for it. Let's go with that. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, well, actually before that, between the episodes this time around, I did a little bit of swapping, a little bit of a switcheroo. For those who have been waiting, before we had, I think, up to Kraken Coast in terms of our Urson Revivalist friends. They have been swapped since then, all of this. So, sort of the Chaos coastline has been given to them, though, interestingly enough, the Chaos forces are now responding. I wonder if it's because, well, we'll see what that works like. But anyway, the reason that I did this was, you may notice, all this territory is now ours. We used to have this territory, but none of this was ours, so all of this has been swapped around. Shaman Darek has been given to the Urson Revivalists, who have a little enclave here in the Great Orthodoxy territory, which I kind of like the idea of. Maybe Boris Ursus is watching the Great Orthodoxy, so Castalton doesn't get too many ideas or anything like that, and keeps the peace between them and the Ice Court. Anyway, our empire in the north is certainly growing, and well, Boris is as well. I mean, we need somebody to hold all this territory that we don't want to deal with. Especially the chaotic wastelands, but including the frozen climates as well. We have enough to be getting on with, so yeah, it's pretty nice. One other thing I did between the episodes is I just decided to manually fight the second circle battle, the remaining Slaaneshi there, and as you can see, the damage was basically non-existent at all, because while there was a garrison here, it was a, you know, unbuffed garrison, and Grimly has already fought the Slaaneshi 2 or 3 times with like 2 to 3 stacks at once, and 1 stack and a little bit of garbage, plus the stack being a garrison wasn't worthy of our time. So that's that. Anyway, let's get started with whatever it is we have to do this particular turn. We're about halfway through this turn, so let's see who needs to move next. Mourngard, Whitebeard. You guys are converging on this territory, oh wow, they do not like us, which is, you know, hardly surprising. You're gonna go here then. Wait. We got defenses. Yeah, we can't see here. Who's better defend? Oh, they're equally defended. Thick Proudbeard will probably need help, but Ulfar Damon can probably function on his own. So I think what we'll do is this. You're going to go here, Mr. Ulfar, into Baragor, and you are going to go here. You two will attack the Magic Feaster Gar, and then you will attack Gutblout Stomp Stomper. Stomp Stomper? Alright, that's pretty good. Alrighty. And what about the chances are to get any particular affix with any particular suffix there? But anyway, or prefix, whatever. Belagar, you. Yes. Okay, so with Belagar, I had a thought. And well, actually, I was musing about this at the end of last episode, if anybody remembers. But anyway, we may want to actually take Blackclaw Lair rather than allow these guys to run around. Here's the thing. These guys are down to 1 settlement. And I think... I'm actually not sure, but if they're closer to Tor Anrock, maybe they'll push to Tor Anrock instead of Blackclaw Lair. And while I'd love a big battle for Belagar, the problem is we have to own Tor Anrock, because we have to own Tor Anrock because it's one of our grudge conditions, which is a little bit unfortunate because there isn't really any other territory that we could give up to Gelt for this territory. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I guess I jumped the gun a little bit with giving them Dahowla's camp. I had been apparently saving it for a reason, but, you know, we got a lot of stuff going on in this campaign, and I forgot what exactly that reason was. I mean, I guess we could give them the Cauldron, but it's kind of in the middle of a bunch of territories, and it's gonna bother me. We're not gonna wipe out Gelt, though. We're not gonna do it. It's tempting, but I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, we'll do Blackclaw Lair. It's got a lot of good units in here, so Belegar will still have to certainly work for it, and hopefully not take too much damage. Good luck, Belegar. Go.
To battle!
Alrighty, here we go. We've got a siege, but we do have to preserve our units, so we're going to have to do the siege the, let's say, mean way, which means knocking down the enemy towers, knocking down the enemy walls, and bombarding the enemy settlement into submission with our bolt throwers. Unfortunately, by the looks of it, the bolt throwers are, well, high enough leveled and buffed up to bring down towers pretty darn quickly. A single volley from all three breaks a tower, and, well, we got more where that came from. That said, this is probably going to take a while, and I'm just going to make a little cut here until we're ready to advance. Alright, there we go. The walls are breached, our troops have advanced, and, well, the bolt throwers will now be joined by the Bugman's Rangers in terms of dishing out damage to the enemy. I believe the bolt throwers have at this point sniped 3 of the enemy heroes, 2 on top of the wall and 1 below the walls, which was a big old target for being on one of those screaming bells. And it looks like we're ready to start heading into the enemy settlement. Of course, the Ghost Pals, and Belegar should be in here somewhere as well, are going to lead. And there's a unit of Storm Vermin, which is, however, heavily damaged already, down to about 10% of its HP before it even moved on in, as it was pretty much obliterated by the Bugmans already, frankly. The enemy settlement is already in horrible shape, the bounce power at about 60% in our favor, but a lot of their critical units, their heroes, minus the enemy warlord, have been destroyed. Even the enemy artillery was actually sniped by our bolt throwers, so good job to them. It feels so strange, but in this particular dwarf campaign, I used miners and bolt throwers much more than I ever expected to do so. Anyway, Doomwheel moves in and gets absolutely torn to shreds by Belegar and the Ghost Pals here. And while there's still a few melee enemies running around, melee troops, we now have our own melee units moving in. Miners and Ironbreakers getting ready to move and start chucking blasting charges at whatever it is they can reach. Like so. Guys, come on. That was way off cue. That was absolutely way off. But there we go. There's the first volley. The Ghost Pals will await the arrival of the Hell Pit Abomination, which has moved on in. And one thing we haven't been able to snipe, at least not until it closed the distance. The death of the Abomination will expel a bunch of Skaven slaves, but the arrows and bolts continue to rain down, and the blasting charges continue clearing the way of the rats. The corpse of the Hell Pit Abomination burns. Probably don't want to set the... probably really don't want to set Skaven stuff on fire, generally speaking. It seems like a good way to get irradiated particles just everywhere, right? The smoke is probably full of warpstone dust. I guess the dwarfs would be more resistant to it than humans would, but still probably a bad thing. Anyway, there we go. We've cleared the breach. Our range units can now start moving into the enemy settlement as well. Maybe even get a few bolts out on the second enemy Doomwheel. And it will not manage to reach us, exploding just before it reaches the line of miners. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, Belegar is making quick work of the settlement. The bounce power's at about 80% in our favor now. Well, enemy lord is running around there, but we'll back off rather than and get into it directly with us. And we'll just continue moving forward, and yeah, the enemy doesn't want any part of this. Oh, this feels mean. But this is what we were expecting. Unlike last episode where we attacked the settlement with Malachi's army, where we sent in the Flyers and the Slayer Pirates up the walls all at the same time, while I'd be perfectly happy to do that here, we once again have to try to disincentivize the clan Treacherous Rats from attacking us and want to incentivize them attacking Tor Anrock instead. And so that means taking effectively no casualties here with Mr. Belegar. And thus a slow, systematic siege and destruction and sniping of every single unit. Looks like the rats are well aware of it and will back off, but we will just continue to advance. Really? Really? The camera has to go over that thing? Really, game? Okay. Oh, that feels unnecessary. But anyway, the rats seem to be too scared to fight by and large. And yep, up we go and down we go. I wonder why they decided to make the camera behave like that. Why can't it go under walkways? Strange. But anyway, it's almost like it's like attached on a string, and it well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the Ghost Pals march forward. We've also, this particular army also has the Horn of the Ancestors, so one of these Ghost Pals, I don't remember which one, this one, is an Ancestor Spirit, not just one of the named things. Anyway, looks like the units that have dared to move down that ramp have been cleared out by Blasting Charge and by Bolt, and we'll continue making our way forward, trying to find a few more enemies. Oh, would you look at that? We've got some units of Clan Rats with spears charging two of the miners that we left behind to guard our units of artillery pieces. Our units of artillery. Yeah, guard our artillery. Alright, a little bit of actual melee action for the Clan Rats, so whether they can deal with this, probably not. We got 60 melee defense and 97 armor, even on miners now. I mean, granted, these are rank 9 veterancy and pretty buffed up. And of course, Belegar buffs them further. Anyway, they have defeated the Clan Rats with decent ease, and the Clan Rats are going to book it on out of there, but that's kind of a bad idea. I guess if it's a choice between... if it's a choice of a pickaxe between your eyes or, I don't know, a blasting charge to the back. Hard to say. Anyway, over on this side, another Hellpit Abomination has made its way forward. We've now summoned the Ancestral Shield Bearers, and the Ghost Pals have been joined by a lot more ghosties as the Hellpit Abomination gets brought down by ghosts and by blasting charges. The bounce power shifts to about 95% in our favor, and I think one maybe unit remains. The Plague Monks here on top of this bridge. Well, we might as well enjoy one last little fight here, and rather than sending our melee troops forward, let's have the Ghost Pals, the heroes, clear the bridge. With Belegar, of course. There we go, smash into those unbreakable units of Plague Monks and get to fighting. Gonna get a good angle for the camera since... Oh wow, did they bring down... They actually managed to kill off one of the Ancestral Shield Bearers. Good for them, considering they don't have magical damage, but 78 melee attack on those Plague Monks. I mean, I think that's more than any unit that we have in terms of melee attack in any of our armies, with the exception of the Slayers. And probably not even the regular Slayers. It would have to be either Giant Slayers or Doomseekers. Pretty darn impressive. Anyway, the Ghost Pals, other than the one that for 2 that fell. Oh, it's probably us also bringing some of them down with friendly fire. I just saw a couple of drop from those arrows. That, I guess that explains at least some of it. Maybe it wasn't the enemy rats after all. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy units goes down, and the battle is ours. We just have to close the distance with this one unit of Warp Lightnings in order to make sure that the enemy army shatters, but we could do that off screen because the battle's over. Alright, there we go. No problem at all. The bolt throwers did really well, knocking out the towers, the walls, a bunch of individual units, and the units on top of the walls and everything, and then we went on in and, you know, sort of slowly but surely destroyed the enemy, who kept backing off like a bunch of little cowards, but admittedly, I get it. If it wasn't for the fact that we were looking to de-incentivize the rats from attacking Blackclaw Lair to try to reclaim it and attacking Tor Anrock instead, We'll see what they do. I probably would have just sent in more units to, you know, take more damage as they went on in, rather than the way that we did it there, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, we'll upgrade you immediately to Great Hold. We don't need either of these buildings, or this building, or... will we have room for the foundry? I don't know, I guess we could rebuild it later if we need to. Yeah, delete it for now. We'll see if we need it later. Or wait, what's our... Oh, I wonder what our flame cannon capacity is, just out of curiosity. We are at 9 out of 52. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we'll be fine. Anyway, go for the Karaz Ankor here to start, and then immediately go into High King's Tribute. Lovely. Alright, who's after Belagar? Somewhere down the long list. Alrighty, Brock Ironpick with your miners. Now, you are technically waiting for engineers, but that doesn't mean you can't move towards the rats, so start doing so, please. You go right up to the edge of this, and then you'll just jump over the mountains afterwards. Like so. Sounds like you need to sit in Campagrotta, and you are not needed down here anymore. Alrighty, good. And don't collect the income at Campagrotta. More likely than not, we'll just trade it away to these guys, because we're probably not going to get Trantio from them. At least I doubt it. Although, if we trade them our BMO, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that all goes. So everybody has complete provinces, because it's going to bother me if they don't. Anyway, a Reclaimer's Silverhorn. Alright, so you're waiting for engineers, but you can keep reclaiming, as one does. Well, you do. Grab Sud, I guess? Kind of hard to say which of these places will be the... will actually hold proper numbers of the clan Pestilence Skaven, but I guess we'll just find out as we go. Slayer Pirate's gonna get damaged by the auto-resolve, but probably shouldn't be surprised at this point. Frankly, the auto-resolve armies, the Reclaimer armies, should probably hold to more auto-resolve friendly units, but I just can't help myself and build more Slayer Pirates. Anyway, let's see what else we've got. Morgus Drenger, your armored Slayer army is more or less ready. The less aspect of this being that we might want to replace one of the organ guns with another artillery piece, but otherwise, you're looking pretty good. I just didn't want to wait for flame cannons. And I guess you're ready to move. Alright, go out there. Let's see how the armored slayers do. We are heading into Bretonnia/Skaven Blight, and... you should be there. Not quite at the same time as Brock Ironpick and his miner pile, but I am very interested to see what the Doomseekers with 85 armor, I think they will be on the field or something along those lines. I am interested to see how well they can handle themselves. Anyway, let's see what else we've got here. Jamek Doomtamer. Alright, you, sir, are going to claim the Great Caravans, I guess, while Morgus Death Dealer can't move. You can quickly auto-resolve this. Fortunately, the base territories of the Chaos Dwarfs are absolute trash, because they have barely anything worthy of being called a defense, and such, we can keep taking advantage of that and quickly moving through their territory, reducing the power of Mr. Drajueth the Ashen. Now, Joseph Bugman, I believe you were going after... Oh, we could go after the Skaven army, but we should probably just pick up Lockefort. What's the likelihood that you just go and claim it? It would be annoying if he doesn't. Oh, you know what we could do? We could set a rearguard lord up here, and then... Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Go after Thrumute Ring Wrench. And we can... do this. Go here. He's going to run. I don't know whether we'll be able to chase him down, but I think we're not going to be able to chase him down. I think he moved too far. Yeah, and now we're too far from everything. Well, isn't that annoying? All right, fine. What I would like you to do is go here, right to the edge of Lockefort. We'll see if Emil von Corden goes after that, but in the meantime... do we have a decent lord that could be useful? I like the Defiant Lords because they can use Slayer Pirates. I mean, I think we have enough guild masters, and I don't know, using demon slayers as reclaimers kind of amuses me. So we'll do that, and hopefully you can actually reach this place. It looks like you can't, but maybe you will be able to with the Root Marcher and starting to turn in our own territory. I guess we'll find out. Kappelberg, just keep that. We're going to trade it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alrighty, who's up next? I'd really like to get Bugman past the river so he and his caravan can start fighting all of the millions of orcs and chaos forces up here. Herrick Grundadrak. Alrighty, so I guess we could send you down to Citadel of Myrmidia. Might be... Right, go to the coast. I mean, I guess it's probably better to just jump over. Huh, maybe we could land. You know what? No, go to a kiss. We might actually be able to land and immediately hit the Citadel of Myrmidia without jumping over. I don't think that Balthazar Gelt is capable of taking it, so and we should be fine there. Scav Holdfast. You will either besiege or immediately take Argalis, depending on whether you can. You cannot. All right, fine. Just besiege it. The enemy doesn't know what... the auto-resolve is unable to recognize the insane strength of the slowdown army, so... well, they're going to be in for another rude awakening. Let's see. Durgrim Burdrick. You are going to proceed towards Gulgrog's monolith, and apparently suffer attrition while doing so. Go here, where you will generate another army to hold, essentially help guard the northern territories against the ever-encroaching onslaught of chaos. Fairy... Oh, you're a fairy, yes. Oh, I just moved you. No, I'm going to the water. What the heck are you doing, dude? Might have misclicked him, my bad. Burnoth Barak. Now, I would like you to technically wait for the engineer, but I am not the most patient, so we will, I guess, just move towards Brega. Now, don't go near it, because I don't want you to get attacked by multiple rat armies at the same time, especially with those darn nukes to worry about. Even with us being able to bait them into hitting the goblin hewers, it's, I don't know, it's still kind of iffy, it feels, so, yeah. That was Burnoth Barak. Morik Grimtideson, you should be able to either auto-resolve... Well, actually, we're gonna find out. Yeah. I mean, you fought, what, 2.5 stacks led by Cardinal Stare? This is just a garrison unbuffed, unveteran, not worthy of your time. You're gonna head southward after you're done with the Cornates, so there's plenty more for the Grimtide to do. Alrighty, and Engineer's Knapsack, Brewmaster, good, Stonemason, Runesmith's Apprentice, and... yeah, collect the income here. Alright, get rid of the Great Hold, and then go for the defenses here, because everything in the Badlands, and we're essentially building up defended structures. I kind of like the dynamic. No having any Dwarfen Badlands territories overrun by orcs again. Alrighty. History will not repeat itself. Mournguard, Stonebeard, you... Oh, right, you're one of the Mournguards. You don't technically need to move... I mean, I suppose we could just send you over to Snakebeard's Artificers. Is this the only territory that they have? It is, so they probably have a full stack there, so the Mournguard probably wouldn't be able to take it unless we modify his army. Nah, just leave him. He's not a Reclaimer, he's a Mournguard. He can just sit here until we're ready for him. Who else do we got? Scav Holdfast is fine, Mournguard Stonebeard is fine, Ulfar Norgrimling, yes, you are still doing stuff. Important stuff. Go down to Bajarak Mine. You are not quite at full HP, so head down by the Tower of Gorgoth. And this is going to be essentially the edge of our territory. Yes. Alright, looks good to me. And you can just sit there, sir. What do we have after you? Scaffold. Oh, I already clicked you, buddy. Same with the Mournguard, Ulfar Norgrimling, Oldest Hellhine. You can't move the... Oh, right, you're going to have to jump to Kinslayer Haven, but you can't do so until next turn. Ferry, Hergar, Ironwill. You are going through the mountains, or possibly Imperial territories, a little bit of both, to ferry all these troops over. Ferry Ironpick, you are going to jump down to get from Mr... Wait, who has this? Ah, yeah, so you have the other Quarrelers with great weapons. Alright, so you're going to have to retrieve those guys. Alright, ferries are, doing a little bit of overtime work. Anyway, Vifan, Braun Hammerfist, you're supposed to... Really? Oh, it's Lord Skrulk. Huh. Okay. Is this a Pyrrhic victory? I mean, I guess the game is thinking that we'd get overrun by the... I mean, we don't have artillery, we just have giant piles of range units. You know what? That's kind of an interesting concept. I think what we'll do here is this. We'll sit here, because there may be other rat armies nearby, and we'll let them sally out, potentially. I'm at least somewhat interested in them, at least attempting to do that. Do we have any... No, we do not have any. Okay. I was wondering whether we had any... What's it called? physically resistant units. We're probably then going to reset Braun Hammerfist because he's going to get a different army than this, but anyway. He's also going to act as a reclaimer, so we're not generally expecting him to fight, which is why I don't really mind resetting him. Let's do... I don't know, Venerate Grimnir, a little bit of melee attack, a little bit of missile resistance. Doesn't feel quite right for this type of army, but if you're not going to be holding onto this army anyway, that hardly really matters. You can get Obstinacy for obvious reasons. And yeah, it's the thing is, using a regular lord to lead a bunch of Thunderers and Rangers makes no sense because he then can't benefit any of... There's no Miners, Dwarf Warriors, Longbeards, there's no Dwarf melee infantry, so basically nobody in the army benefits from anything that the Dwarf Lord can do, which is a little bit unfortunate, considering Dowie Tactician is a nice sort of universal trait, but it thus means that he needs sort of a half army with multiple types of things, rather than... this type here. Anyway, we could get Rally, but it's probably not going to be too much use for us, so maybe we'll just get the Rune of Grimnir. And hard to hit for you. Somebody needs to face off against Lord Skroak. Oh, and also no engineers, so these guys are going to be a lot less powerful than we might be used to. And if they get another stack or two attacking us, it might make the battle interesting. Alrighty. Scav hold fast, plus we don't care if they die, so... It sounds like we're in a hurry there. Oldest Helheim, I just checked you. Burnoff Knucklebreaker. You and your army, such as it is, keep heading on down. Yeah, go down to Socotra. See if you can't find some Vampire Coast. And we should be... Muster the Throng. I don't know why it amuses me so much, but I don't know. The fact that it's capitalized, it's not like an actual lord name. It just amuses me. Anyway, Hegenbor Ironpick, you are moving north. Still waiting for your other Grail Knights, but that'll be a bit. So just keep moving this way, I guess. We're going to need to help with the reclaiming of the northern portions of the Empire, Midland, Nordland, all that good stuff. Ulthar Stonehammer, you are probably going to be a Reclaimer Drakebeard. Again, Reclaimers are just what I've been calling the auto-resolve armies. As in, we don't need to care about their composition or their heroes or anything like that. They're just running around doing reclaimy stuff. You can do this. Alright. You're not in a hurry either. And is that the... Reclaimer Stout Peak. You are who? Oh, right. You need to go here. And... Huh. Alright, wait. Do this. There we go. You're an engineer. You're not going to take command of all these Bugman's Rangers, but you can hold on to them for now, and we can get you Spyglasses. We can get you Thunderer, and at the very least we can get you 1 point to get Warmatic up and running. Still get you Obstinacy. And Master Rune of Immolation, because Master Rune of Flight is atrociously bad. I don't understand why they don't rework it, because it's basically useless. Never hits anything. Anyway, you can sit there, and I guess come in as a reinforcement. Whatever. Alrighty, and was that the last one? Muster the Throng is mustering, as one does. Tech Thieves don't need to be a thieving anymore, really, so they're... unless they need to move. You... I mean, I guess you can Tech Thief here. It's the principle of the thing. And he's slowly leveling by doing that, so there's, I don't know, there's a reason to keep doing it, I guess. Morgrim Azrael, you're supposed to go into this army and Telmador Red X's army, so you're fine as you are. Skip. Damn, there was damaged buildings somewhere, but I didn't see where. Hero not moved. Outpost available. Commandant available. Oh, right. We will go for High King's Tribute, I guess. I'm not so sure that we really care about Help It, but, you know. And I guess that it's one of these territories here where we need to uncollect the income and then build this up immediately. We'll be trading this to Bretonia and just keep the granary. I don't think it's going to be worth all that much anyway. And I believe, unless there's another territory, well, I'm just going to assume that there isn't. Wait. Yeah, we're fine. Wait. No, we're fine. Alright, trait gain, tunneler, competent protector, constructor, creator, no mason? What is this? Western provinces, ally mission aborted, what the heck? Ikat Claw, huh, weird. Settlement infected, well that was always bound to happen. We've got a Skaven plague, at least it starts in the 9th circle at the bottom of the Help It. I guess it'll, the plague will boil its way up. Alright, Alabigans outpost construction, talisman of preservation, stonemason armor of destiny, good. Stonemason, clan Treacherich destroyed. darn. That didn't quite work out like I wanted it to. Looks like they did attack Toranrog, but they were destroyed by the defenses and this little army. Oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. Reclaimer Drakebeard, you do not need another Trickster Shard, especially not you. I'm not actually sure that anybody needs other Trickster Shards for our faction, but anyway. Ally mission successful. Ice Court. Ally begins construction. Enemy killed. Enemy killed. Ally begins outpost construction. Technology researched. Good. Iron Veteran. Power up those great weapon units. And before we do anything else, new missions. Oh, I don't really care about yours. Reichland, we mostly care about Imperial missions right now. Maybe you as well. And Golden Order, Western Provinces, Vomik, I guess. Alright, fine. Throt. Anything else? No, alright. Alright, come on, more Imperial stuff. Now, before I do anything else... Okay, good. Just wanted to double check something. Alright, so you have landed, but you are not at war with these guys, so you're trying to bypass them. Now, I guess that means we're going to move Malachi down here to deal with you. I'm just going to assume that he can't... I don't want to... You know what? Go here. Oh, what I was going to say is I don't want him to go this way so that we have to chase him down, as it would be quite annoying. I wonder whether we should build a defensive structure at Sioktraken. I guess we'll see. Well, either way, you are going to go for a scrat mine for now, and then we'll see. We will finally delete the stone bread bakeries every time that we're here, because I wanted to get the Karaz-a-Karak port up to tier 5. Wait, not the Karaz-a-Karak port, the Cracker Ravensfog. Well, I guess we already did that, and we already deleted those. Well, we were doing the same thing at Karaz-a-Karak because we wanted it maxed out. It's a pretty high money-generating territory, 19k. Anyway, let's... okay, well... Slaanesh, first of all, I assume that you no longer have the capability of seducing units, or at least I hope you don't. You do not. Alright, goodbye. Wait. Quick save and then goodbye. And that should be the end of this faction. Unfortunately, having to move like this means that Grimly won't be able to... and Grimly won't be able to use Underway stance now, but that's okay. Drink to victory. Sure. Alrighty, and Shieldbreaker, Sky Titan String I don't care for, Slaanesh are done. Now, Gromby could probably take care of the rest of this, it's just that he's going to take a little bit longer to do so. You know what, a Scalpake might jump to like the 3rd circle, so maybe we should just stick around, though we could also move to Monolith of Beorg. You know what, I'm going to say we'll leave it to Gromby. Go here instead. I think we're okay, at least we're looking okay. What we will do, however, is get a temporary lord here. Any good... there's an Overseer Guildmaster. We can get you on field and then make you a Reclaimer. But for now you can be a follower. And just with Grimly, plus get a little bit of free XP and all that. Alrighty, I don't dislike the idea. Now, Gromby, I guess you can free take the 5th circle. It's really the 8th circle that we want, but I fear that Throt won't try to defend it. What he really should do is go to the 7th circle, where he has decent defenses. I still want his defeat trait, too. Alright, well, we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. You can take 5th circle for now. And I'll resolve it for obvious reasons, and I didn't quick save it, but hopefully we'll be okay. Occupy. Alrighty, Stonemason, Powder Maker, enemy killed in battle. We will... Oh, we can upgrade 4th circle to tier 5. Well, darn, I guess I screwed that up a little bit. Well, actually, I'm not sure I did, but anyway. Let's just build you up while we're at it, and might as well get those deeps started. I don't think the enemy's going to breach 4th circle at the very least. You can probably reinforce any one of these. You can move to 3rd circle if the enemy moves towards it. Throt might go for 9th, but I don't think we care about 9th, especially since the plague is there. Snorri Grimtideson. Now... You're just a sort of temporary Reclaimer army. Frankly, I should have named you Reclaimer Snorri, but anyway, Reclaimer Grimson. There we go. Or possibly a, Coast Guard up here, but anyway, let's get you some Slayer Pirates. Can't go wrong with Slayer Pirates. I should stop, but anyway, let us... I don't know, we can get you some gyrocopters. Oh, you don't have any real artillery pieces. Alright, let's get you at least a cannon so that you can force enemies to move towards you. And then the miners here should at least be upgraded to miners with blasting charges. like so, and I don't know why you have one corollary unit. I guess I just had it from another thing. Can corollaries be upgraded to anything interesting? We could make you into an Iron Drake and an Iron Drake with Troll Hammers. There you go, that'll be a little bit more helpful if, okay, yeah, we got anti-blob, we got anti-single entities, we got anti-everything, but mostly single entities, and then, yeah, that's something. It still probably won't work very well in auto-resolve because they're just not the type of units that are good at that sort of thing, but, you know, whatever. You shouldn't need to fight too much here, since the Reclaimers here probably won't have too much to do, as we'll move 3 legendary armies this way, Grimly and Gromby and Malachi, and they should be able to handle that particular direction. Now, Oldest Hellhind, what I want you to do, is very important, is to go right beside Kinslayer Haven, because I want them to attack you with 3 stacks at once. The garrison and then this full stack, well, maybe 2.5 stacks, but anyway. We are going to level you, however, because it's going to be a toughie. What do you need? I guess we were moving towards either Strike the Runes, and I guess that hasn't stopped. So Strike the Runes. And is that actually better than... you know what? I think Obstinacy might actually be the more effective, let's say, choice here. All right, Engineers. I don't believe we've leveled you up because you hadn't had a fight until now. So, Triangulation into Requisition, Ballistics Calibration into Zufbar 42 Pounders. You are 1 level short, so you'll do the same thing, but what you will not do is 2 levels in 42 Pounders. You'll only get the 1. Oh, lovely. Next up, we got Thanes. You guys are going to go for Keeper of the Gate, both of you, and Fell-Handed Warrior into Inherited Arms, into Unfaltering, into Revered Thane. I do like that Runa Grimnir, and I also like that Esteemed Combatant for this particular situation. Frankly, it's a new army, so it could actually use training as well. You know what, let's do this. We are the Elite into Retinue Trainer, and then 2 into Runa Grimnir, and then we'll go for training afterwards. You're going to do the same thing. You're 1 level short, though. Keeper of the Gate will go Tough as Nails, Esteemed Combatant. We are the Elite, Retinue Trainer, Fell-Handed Warrior, Inherited Arms, Unfaltering, and then Revered Thane, which, again, the cooldown for Patriarch and the Glittering Scales is just a nice buff and a nice debuff. And I forgot where I spent the last point. Huh. Wait, what? One moment. That's what I get for going too fast. We are the Elite. Oh, right, I was moving through Grimnir. I should have figured that one out. You, Runa Speed, you can get sharpened weapons, I think, in this particular army. At least for now, you'll eventually get somebody with sharpened armor. Well, you can sharpen your armor. Anyway, Rune of Oath. I mean, the spiky lads are probably better at it. You don't need damping for this particular enemy army. What I would like you to do is max out Rune of Speed and Rune of Oath and Steel, because they're the useful ones, the most useful ones, I should say. And oh, you know what? Just screw it, whatever. Get Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Should have probably gone towards Forge Fire, but I think he'll be fine. Anyway, I've started doing things out of order again because, you know, I'm pathologically incapable of doing anything else. And Thorgrim, it's time. You are ready to move southward and go find and kill Batman. Finally, somebody will kill the Batman. Anyway, you go down here. Since Clan Tree Trick is gone, Belagar, I assume that we don't need you to deal with this. Are you able to grab the Mysterious Island, then go to the Citadel of Myrmidia? I hope that you are. We're going to take the Citadel of Myrmidia from these guys and then trade it for Tor Anrock, as weird as that may seem. And Power of Rage, I guess, and let's see if you can land. Free Armor of Fortune, I guess. Inferior to the armors we have now, and we'll let these guys sally out. They've got a solid, decent stack, and the auto-resolve won't work, so why not? And give them a chance. We can't do a cinematic battle here because of the big walls anyway, and I'd rather, obviously I'd rather a cinematic. Tricky. I'd love to go after you, man, and... what's going on here? So these guys managed to keep tidal flats. We still have to have somebody deal with Grom. We're probably going to have to make a Guardian army somewhere here in the Ghoul Wastes or the New Strigos. We will also eventually have to fight these guys. In fact, inevitably have to fight these guys. But while we're not fighting them, maybe we just move further and keep dealing with the... keep dealing with Malice's faction. Somebody has to, right? Anyway, you go to Pig Barter.
Nope.
Alrighty, and you cannot auto-resolve. Huh. I mean, it is a Dark Elven garrison. They're extremely solid, but I will never get tired of Joseph of Zorn's army fighting him. Besides, maybe that'll give him a chance to reinforce with something. Brewer's Lair. I believe we're going to give this up to you as well. Brewer's Lair for 99. Wait. Ruined Landing. Wait, we don't want the Ruined Landing. What about Tidal Flats? Let's do this. We'll do the Tidal Flats. We'll do the military alliance with you. We will also have you. Do you have anything annoying? No trade, no military access. We'll do that. We'll have you join war against. Okay, you're already fighting Clan Treacherich and... Yeah, great. Frankly, maybe you have enough to be getting on with. Yeah, alright, let's do this. Like so. Game. Okay. I thought it was gonna start crashing because of the lag there, and then you could just get back Tidal Flats. Enjoy. Lovely. All right, these guys should be pretty darn happy with us. They used to hate us because we sort of kicked them out of their former territory, but now they love us like most other factions. Elves maybe not so much, but I don't think there's anybody else nearby that can hate on us for allying with these guys. At least I doubt it. Anyway, let's keep going. Finark Raskelson, you are... Well, that's a question. Do we need more armies moving down here? Frankly, we probably do. We are, though, however, in Vam and... Wait. Did you... Oh, this guy's didn't sally out. You little cowards. Is this a... no cinematic here. That's a shame. I'll think about what to do with that one. I'm just wondering whether Finn would be better off pushing towards the Vampire Coast territories here to help out. I do kind of like sending the guns against the coast because that's probably now the only army that can actually challenge Finn's army without having like 2 or 3 stacks to overwhelm his guns. The Nurglites would be no challenge because they're so slow and wouldn't be able to reach him, whereas the Vampire Coast can actually fight back. And I think I like that more. So yeah, you're gonna move to Monte Castello. Thank you, game. Yeah, you're gonna move to Monte Castello. Though I'm sure he would have had fun fighting the elves. It's not like they have a lot of territory here, and between probably Belagar. I guess we'll send Belagar down here as well. And get a little bit of a shootout with the elves. Yeah. Alright, Belagar. Oh, you reached rank 52. I can finally level you up. You go to Stone Mine Tower for down here. Alrighty, what you are going to do is besiege Monte Castello if you can. Yes, you can. And oh, wow, what the heck is this? Alright, you can occupy Monte Castello then. Like so. And occupy. Lovely. That was easy, and it is a low level, but we don't care because it's going to be traded to one of the Southern Realmer factions. Speaking of Southern Realmer factions, I really, really wanted you to take Pugno so that we can transfer Southern territories to you rather than giving everything to the Central Confederacy. I suppose on one hand it might make sense for the Central Confederacy to be the more powerful one, but still kind of annoys me. Anyway, what we can do here is this. You are going to go here, and then with the reinforcements... we are able to take this side in quick save, but I think we'll be okay. And occupy. Alright, good. Talisman of Preservation, Stonemason, Stormmason, Sword of Bloodshed. Great find, but not for you, Reclaimer. I might give some of the Reclaimers some of the items, but it's not critical for obvious reasons. Don't collect the income. That's going to go to the Southern Confederacy or South Confederacy. We'll go for the Sparring Chamber here. We want to trade that particular territory for Thessos. Let's see if we can. And then we can give all of this then to the South Confederacy, whereas the Central Confederacy holds this territory. I don't know, something like that. I just want these guys to have more than one territory, because it's going to bother me. You can build a clay pit, it doesn't really matter. Alrighty, who's up next? I started doing things out of order again, as one does. Rearguard Asgal, you know where you're going. You are going to generate another Guardian, potentially, army up here somewhere. Looking good. Thoric Ironbrow. Now, the Road of the Dawn is certainly in trouble. Let's just hope they survive. Maybe we should give them some, like, $1 billion money, but anyway. We'll deal with it later. Thorek, you would suffer attrition here, but you can continue proceeding towards Altar of Madness, and if you find yourself a nice Tamarcon to kill, well, I wouldn't say no to that either. You, however, I guess will probably want to come down here and help out, well, down there. So start moving this way. Thorek can actually, you know, defend himself and stuff. Oh, actually, speaking of Thorek, what Thorek needs is a Master Engineer. We got another Innovator. Ugh, it's gonna bother me to put an Innovator in his army, though he already has one, eh? You know, I guess we just should, because he's just gonna spend the entire game without having an Innovator then, and it's not a good thing. Without having an Engineer, rather. A second Engineer. Considering he's mostly all range. Anyway, that's Thorek. I wonder where Tamarcon went. Vikram Burdrick, you are still going to trade this army to another lord, but he's not ready yet, so you can just keep on moving down towards the High Elves of Emmeric's faction. You, Reclaimer Gottry Holdfast, will take Horno. Like so. Not worthy of our attention, though it had Draca and Coadil, they had no chance there, and occupy the place. Alrighty, and weapon strength when attacking Lord's army, immune to Athalor and attrition. I suppose we could have picked up a few of those on factions, on armies that we might potentially send to Athaloran. Certainly a consideration. Anyway, build, and I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Build, like so. Alright, this is going to Reichland. And yes, okay, beautiful. We have everything south of the River Talabek now. We just need to develop it a little bit, and then we will be good. A Reclaimer Helldower. I assume you can't reach Mr. Thramute here. You're going to go here. We are going to then do this. Follower Skolson. You have served a good purpose. Lovely. And I got 12,000 XP out of that. Go for Drink to Victory. Alrighty, Wailing Banner, don't care about that. I do care about any blue items. Oh, stolen from the enemy. I was like, wait a second, you can only find blue items. How did you find a non-blue item? See if you can't go to Wurtzen. I don't know whether you can, but give it a try. Just out of range. Darn, I was hoping that we could free up Ungrim from having to do it, but it looks like we can't. Alright, fine, Ungrim. Yeah, I was looking at the stack to see whether it was worth a fight, but it's not. Occupy. Another Ranger's Quiver, an Ending Volley, and Wurtzen, we will uncollect the income and we will build it up. You're going to the Empire. Alright. Empire. Hey, they've actually taken a territory. Fort Corver here. Well done, Todbringer. Perhaps the Empire is finally looking like they're doing stuff. Ooh, Grom de Paunch. Alright, he's moving towards Reichland, which I can't say I like very much. You are going here. Don't lose those guys. We might have to send a Reclaimer down here to help against Grom. Maybe an actual proper army, though. It is Grom. And, oh, you didn't sally out. Scroll key. Come on, man. What is this? Alrighty, we'll deal with you shortly. But we'll do so in order. Dwynbar Ranulfson, you will take Blight River Falls, like so. A little bit of damage, but that's fine. The auto-resolve always underestimates this army, even when it really, really shouldn't. At least not at this point. And we'll upgrade you, we'll build up the defenses, and okay, yeah, you know what, I'll deal with the rest of the building later. High King's Tribute, please. Dwarfen Tattooist, Teller of Lies? Teller of Tales. Teller of Lies sounds like a Tzeentchen thing. And Dwynbar, you're going to probably proceed to Red Shield Fort afterwards. We still need to knock these guys out. They're also causing problems for our little Cathian friends here. And we'll probably save them. Plus, we still got to kill these, you know, gobos masquerading as dwarfs down here. And who's next? What do we got? King Azrael, yes. Now, you are very close to where you need to be. Almost at Silver Pinnacle. We still need to wipe out the Red Eye. That hasn't changed, and I guess you're just going to proceed all the way there. Frankly, I'm not sure that... Well, keep leeching XP, I guess, with Rearguard Half Hand. Alright, wait there. Now we will leech the XP with the Rearguard. Level 23 now. Even our rear guards are starting to get plenty of levels because of the profit buff in combination with what we've got going. Plus, listen, now that a lot of our lords are level 50, I mean, a lot of our heroes are not. They're still hovering around, I don't know, level 36-ish, pretty much universally. But they will eventually start transferring a lot of their XP as well, which will be good. There we go. Rear guard, half hand. You definitely don't need an Armor of Destiny. You're mostly here to follow King Azrael and take territory so that he doesn't have to waste his time. We will go into High King's Tribute with you. And I guess we'll start upgrading these. Upgrade, defensive, structure, delete, and I'm going to say start with the trading depot. Lovely. Alright, very close to Silver Pinnacle now. We've destroyed the red eye, so we can start turning this way. We do still have Clan Grutnik? No, Gritus. Close, it was a G, to worry about. And by worry, I don't mean worry. You can also leave our Anrak, just in case Rearguard Half-Hand gets attacked. I guess it's time to declare war on these guys. I also don't really want these guys to take their territory, but I think we'll be okay. This army was essentially just made to take these territories so that we don't have to have King Azrael do it, though Karaz Ankor is actually probably a tier 5 settlement which you might not be able to... Well, actually, we've got a pretty solid random smattering of troops from the Confederation, and we can buff that up with a few more Grudge Settler units, should we desire to. So it's not a bad idea. Anyway, go kill this with a quick little auto-resolve. You're not allied with anybody? And then we attack. Declare war. And don't call your allies to help. How many wars and how many allies do we have? We have, almost equally as many. That's neat. Alrighty, and strike at Ronan the Dominator. Ronan sounds like a Eshin name, and the Dominator could really be any kind of Slaanesh name, any kind of Arath name. Yeah, heal up, just in case they have another army running around out here. Othar Stonehammer, you are going to move forward. Frankly, with the fact that you have Grudge Settler units, I might make you a proper army rather than just a Reclaimer. You have to think about that. Ooh, these guys might attack you and ambush you. Nonetheless, Wailing Banner, Stonemason, I already gave you items, and we'll deal with your levels as needed. Alright, who is up next? Gotta try to find ourselves a proper fight. Again, we are at the point of the campaign where, hello, what do we have here? It's a lot of Nurglings. I'm willing to bet that they won't actually attempt to fight this, but we do, I'm sure, I mean, we've already run into a few good Nurgle armies. There's probably a few more running around out there. You have to max out Obstinacy, get your Root Marcher, full plate armor. I don't really care about Master Armor, but, you know, free flame resistance might be useful in some rare situations. You, Gilbert Furrowbrow, I believe. I mean, we could get more XP for units here. Yeah, fine. Go for hero. Go for a relentless and hero. There we go. You're a relentless hero now. You have Strike the Runes. We are starting to move through Rune of Sanctuary. We have Damping, which was the important stuff. I do like Rune of Grimnir on you, but it isn't necessary in this particular situation. Let's get you Scarred Vet, and I guess 1 point in armor. Good. And then the 2 engineers. Were you saving your points for Bolt Thrower, Organ Gun Mastery? Yes, you were. Organ Gun Mastery for you. And anything else important? Max out Sapper, there we go. And then you, I assume, will be doing the same thing, since you were saving the points for the same exact purpose. Organ Gun Mastery. We do have a lot of organ guns here. And start going through... Oh, you can actually start with Requisition before Sapper. There we are. Did you not get Requisition? Oh, you did. Huh. What did I not get with you? Okay, well, I did the point distribution a little bit differently between them, I guess. Anyway, go after Ludred. Keep the little lizard friends safe. And oh no, we won't be able to catch up to them. Damn those swamplands! Now we're gonna have to suffer attrition. Oh well, not a big deal. Maybe they'll be able to bring another army along and threaten us a little bit more there. Morgus Death Dealer, you are who again? Oh right, you're just here to auto-resolve things until we're finally able and ready to get you an army. I feel somewhat bad. Because this guy's been in this situation for what feels like 10 episodes or something like that. I gotta give him a proper army after this. It's just cruel at this point to occupy. What level is he at? He's level 25, which ain't too bad. Talisman of Preservation and Jamek Doomtamer. While you can reach Rock Guts Camp, I think we'll just send you down here, and then you will peel away instead to move to Eyebiter Hold, but you will do so in underway stance, like so. Oh, there's another little army here, which will probably reclaim the great caravans. But it is what it is. These are all territories to be traded to the Gold Tooth Ogres anyway. Hopefully they'll be able to start soon taking some territory themselves, and hopefully they don't start fighting the Bretonnians or something like that, because then we're gonna have to kill them all. And I don't mean both the Bretonnians and the Ogres, although... I mean, if they annoy us sufficiently. You are going to try to move towards Varetza. Yeah, go right beside... Well, no, go right here. We don't know what's out here. Nah, I don't see anything. Alright, we're good. Alright. Keep reclaiming the Southern Realms. Mournguard Whitebeard. Alright, so all of you guys, so this should be some auto-resolves, I'd wager. Alright, let's declare war on these guys. They hate us now, declare war. Don't call your allies to help. We just can't have them here. It's, I mean, we've allied with a lot of ogres. I don't really mind. It's just that they would likely set up a camp and start raiding our allies, and then they'd all be just hating on each other, and it'll be a whole annoying thing. Anyway, quick save. Not really worth fighting basic ogre bulls and tons and tons of nobblers here. And we do have Zatan, who's just to the south of us, and I'm sure we'll have some pretty good forces, especially at the gates of Jar, which is presumably his capital. That'll be a fight worth fighting. Alrighty, in the meantime, you guys will proceed to take Scoff Jar. Like so. Don't scoff at it. Wait for the reinforcements, buddy. By the Damaskron, indeed. Alright, and I'll resolve, and this faction should immediately be dead. Oh, we can combine the forces from these two armies to make a proper army. Nice. I don't dislike that. Alright, and with that, this faction should be destroyed unless they have a camp running around. They do not. Trickster's Helm for Thick Proudbeard. Yeah, I can hold on to that. I don't care. Okay, I'll do the buildings between the episodes as usual. Thungni of Zorn. You are here to generate a... Alright, go this way. Kind of in a weird position. He's here to recruit more Grail Knights for Hegenbor Ironpick, because I think it'll be a fun dynamic, but we need to get enough allegiance to actually be able to recruit them. And we need to get proximity in terms of our territories with Grom the Punch, because that will reduce the cost of the Grail Knights, or Grail Guardians, should we desire to do that, from the Kuran Bretonnian faction. Anyway, Belagar, why didn't you move further? The heck? Oh, I must have jumped the gun and started moving a little bit earlier than I should have. You've taken Iron Spike now. Huh. Well, that's going to be a question. Do we let them hold on to it? Then they'll have this little mountain range. How much is Iron Spike worth to you? Oh, you can't even give it to us. Abino is worth... we can't give you money for it. Wow, Foul Peak is worth a lot. Huh. We might not be able to get anything for trade from these guys. I mean, we don't technically care about Skaven Blight itself, but we do have a like, we care about it in the sense that we have a great grudge for it. Well, keep moving through these guys' territory, which we do have military access of. Okay, I was a little bit worried there for a second. Alrighty, let's keep moving. Reclaimer Granite Hand. You are... Okay, wait. You built up a bunch of stuff, some of which has to go to some other armies. You know, I'll deal with that between the episodes. They just have to be redistributed to other armies. You, I guess, can go to Castle de Fleuve, and then we'll go to Fort Berg-Bray or Fort Bergbris, depending on whether this is supposed to be French or... I don't know, something. Austrian, I don't know, auto-resolve. And occupy. Skaven revealed, and don't deal with anything here. We will still be transferring all of this to Bretonnia. Oh, huh. Dwarfen rebels at Grungzint. Wow, they've been there for a while by the looks of it. I don't think Grungzint is gonna fall, though. It's got pretty darn solid defenses. Anyway, you... Oh, yeah, that's like we're claiming Granite Hand. Morgus Dringer. Move out with those Iron Slayers. I don't dislike that idea. It's a good name. The Armored Slayers, but Iron Slayers ain't too bad. Anyway, you guys go here. Keep proceeding towards the Skaven. Bugman, you are at last ready to move north. You can't get to Adgig from here, but what you can do is move very near to it. It looks like the Empire isn't looking to reclaim it because, I don't know. Well, we'll reclaim it then. Or Bugman will. Like so, we've got breaches in the walls. Just send the caravan through the walls. That would be unusual, but maybe potentially kind of interesting. Anyway, lots of admin this episode, but you know what? We've had many episodes, even towards the end of this campaign. Last episode, the previous episode, where we got like 5 battles of the episode. So you know, it happens on occasion. We are at a point where we will occasionally get a lot of admin happening. And, you know, some people do enjoy the admin. Fairy Craig Waitbeard, you are... okay, still keep moving down here. So close. Hopefully nobody's here. Well, nobody is here to immediately attack and make us lose those precious grudge thrower settler units. Grudge settler units. You can, I guess, take Breganel. Like so. A little bit nervous about it, but we are hopefully okay. Quick save. It hasn't crashed this episode, but it doesn't mean it won't crash. I wonder where these guys' armies are. We've intercepted one, specifically with this army, but that, well, there's probably a lot more. And we'll suddenly get hit with a bunch of them, I wager, because that's just the nature of fighting the Skaven. And you can move towards Bernoth Baruch. You are probably not the right type of engineer, are you? Yeah, you're an innovator. What we need is the guy that gives entrench to the dwarf engineers. They will need it. You, Story Azrael, will hunt down Vomik, who is far too close and easy to... well, if not easy to hunt down, at least hunt downable. Like so. And then I guess we'll go past him on resolve to finding more enemies. Alrighty, and just heal up just in case. I'm very concerned about this army suddenly getting ambushed, because it's not a particularly good one for that particular type of fight. Can you go into an encamp stance? Yes, stand in camp because it gives you plus 50% ambush defense. Then move on to Grouse and such. Oh! A lot of this is probably Clan Eshin, not just Clan Scryer. Actually, what we need to check is how much of these Skaven territories are Eshin, how much are Scryer, how much are Pestilens. How many territories do you have? You have 14. Oh, wow, 14. Dang, okay. So, I guess this... no, but this... I would assume that this was Molder, because this is Molder. But I guess this is all Molder. Is this Molder, or is it... no, this is just destroyed by Chaos. But this is definitely Molder. How many territories does Molder have? 10. So between the two, they have 24. And just out of curiosity, while we're there, I want to see how many Eshin has. Eshin has... oh, it's an undiscovered faction. Okay, fine. Probably a lot, too. Alright, well. We'll deal with it. Brock Ironpick is on the approach to Skaven Blight now. And, oh, right. The idea, the plan was to give Brock the Mads map of madness. The thing that annoyed us so in the early game. There we go. They're just digging in the underway and rediscovering old routes and, I don't know, trying to get the collapsed routes back up and running. But on occasion, that takes them through a tunnel. Through a side tunnel where they may not want to be, or they do want to be, because it's full of rats and they gotta kill them all. Anyway, Morek, kill off the Beast Stone and destroy the Crimson Skull faction for good, please. Like so, and occupy. Wait, was it this turn or last turn that we moved? There we go, no more Crimson Skull. Ally mission successful, good. Was it... oh, right, the Cauldron. You are going to need a commandment. High King's Tribute, and delete this, and keep the Monument to Grimnir. I kind of like the idea of a Slayer Shrine where the Coordinates were. Anyway, did these guys... oh, okay, that was this turn. I was hoping to fight them. I was hoping to fight somebody. Like, properly. Morngard Stonebeard, you are... okay. Ulfar Norgrimling, you are on the approach to Bazarek Mine. It is... is this a minor settlement battle? It is, but it's not one worthy of your attention. Occupy. Alright, well, at the very least, in one episode we've advanced and taken, like, I don't know, so many territories. And, ooh, we should probably wait to upgrade you to tier 5, shouldn't we? Yeah, alright, fine. We've advanced in a lot of places, which will probably mean closer to stopping the advance in some places, which will then mean that we'll be able to move towards the areas where there's more fighting to be had, like basically everywhere to the north and in Bretonnia and to the south. Alrighty, Elmador Red Axe, you were the next one. Go to Sneaky Get Hold and take it out for good. And auto-resolve, because there's nothing there, and Occupy is the Dimmed Suns faction destroyed now? Yes, indeed it is. Oh, lovely, and that's what I'm talking about. We can hold on to the territory, so High King's Tribute. Tier 3, delete, delete, and build, and build, and build, and I'll deal with the rest of you later. Alrighty. I keep clicking him because he still has to move, but we're okay. Mourngard Stonebeard doesn't need to move. Replace Fireslay. Are you still needed? We've traded this. Yeah, no, you're not needed anymore. You can now be replaced. Replace yourself so that he doesn't leech XP from all active lords once they lords that are fighting transfer their XP to everybody. Assuming that that actually works. I'm still not sure that it does, but maybe we just have so many lords that at this point, the amount of XP we get as a trickle. Or Reclaimer Gundrickson, you're where you're supposed to be. Fairy Ironpick, keep moving southward. Rearguard Helldower, you are... I generally don't remember why I built these. Oh, right, yes I do. Go to take Pradeshina, because these guys are unwilling to do it. And auto-resolve, yes. Occupy. Beautiful. And we don't need this, so leave here, and this thing was bothering me for ages. You can just take it.
This conversation continues only as long as the orthodoxy declares...
Hush. There you go. There you go. Man, this guy didn't have his first 2 provinces. The Ehrengrad province only had 2 out of 4 territories, and then this province had problems as well. And now look at that. We fixed his situation. This will also be given back to the Ice Court, but I'm keeping a few of the territories in case they take too much territory from the Empire. This is a nice little enclave from the of the Orthodoxy down here to the south of the Ice Court. I don't dislike the idea. It's kind of, I don't know. The southern Oblast, maybe it's a more rural location where the Great Orthodoxy has taken root more than the centralized, regular Ice Court with the richer provinces in the center. I think maybe that kind of makes sense. And as long as it's an enclave where all of the territories are fine, then it's fine. Just because somebody asked, I'm saying what I want to do with that. Anyway, let's see who else needs to move. Still looking for a decent fight this turn. Slash this episode. Braun Hammerfist. Maybe we'll just fight with you then. It did say Pyrrhic Victory. And Rearguard Baruch. Oh, right, these guys. Are you just going to sit here and raid? It's just Ungor Spears. Huh. This. And then... I feel like this should be auto-resolvable. Axe Lord you already have. Let's see. Do this.
Time to slay Oathbreaker.
Yeah, heroic victory. I mean, it's Ungor's. We could fight it, but they're so weak that it's not worth the time. Please tell me this faction is destroyed now. They've been annoying us for, like, I don't know, as long as I can remember. And enemy killed in battle. They are not destroyed. Okay. That means they have another hidden encampment somewhere. Alright, fine. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna stay here. You're gonna move forward. You're gonna build more miners until you find these guys. Nothing else can be built in one turn, right? Alright, now just screw it. Just nothing but miners. We'll have another minor army. Alright, not you. Burnoth Knucklebreaker. Takes a Kotra.
Quickly, of an oath
And just keep auto-resolving. Funnily enough, once these guys suffer sufficient damage, they might have a fight that might be enjoyable by virtue of them finding their doom. I mean, we gotta find another doom for another one of these Grudge Settler armies, right? We had a pretty darn good one. One of the best fights in the campaign was one of them finding their doom, so yeah. Anyway, you can go for High King's Tribute here. We will keep the place. We will not upgrade Sakatra, because Grunty Mingle can be upgraded to tier 5 shortly. Anyway, anybody else that is a lord? Cannot muster the throng, although I'll take a look at you later, between the episodes most likely. And Thengrim. I don't remember what I was doing with you. I think you're just a follower lord, right? You're defiant, probably meaning we could use you as a sort of guardian lord as well. Like we could have you build Slayer Pirates or something. Can you build Slayer Pirates in this location? Because you're defiant, so you would buff them and the Goblin Heroes. Oh, but you're kind of meh. You know what? Go with the Bugman. Maybe we can grab Ergig and then a Bugman Reinforce. That makes more sense. Alrighty, and I think by the looks of it, no other proper army remains. Okay, you guys are... Let me just see here. Reclaimer, get gold, you're just building stuff for Reclaimer. Stout Peak. Alright, so here's what we'll do. Brawn Hammerfist, you will unsiege. Break siege. And then we'll move this army to fight. And Brawn will reinforce. As one guy. It's still a Pyrrhic victory, and maybe throughout the Unclean we'll be able to rush us. He does have a lot of those Plague Claws, some Warp Fire Throwers. We'll see how he can do, or how we can do. We gotta have a fight after all. Forgot to quick save. Although it's not crashing to... Oh, wow, he's rank 30. Huh, good job. Or Skrolk. I keep calling Throt Skrolk, and I almost just said Throlk. Well, they both go down a hell pit and combine into one abomination, anyway. Alright, slay the Oathbreakers indeed. Yeah, just gotta slay the Oathbreakers, guys, come on. Anyway, here we go. Reclaimer Stout Peak is currently using troops that were meant to separate into two different armies, two different Reclaimer armies / auto-resolve armies, so we are just going to see if we can't find a nice battle out of them here, and especially without heroes and unbuffed and all that. Now, in terms of what we have to do here is to try to knock out our Plague Claw Catapults. The enemy Plague Claw Catapults by Vanguard deploying our Bugman's Rangers. Now, these Bugmans were originally sort of earmarked for an army that would take advantage of a Thane that gives them snipe, which we obviously don't have yet, and that's the army that those guys were supposed to go to, but, well, we'll see if they can't achieve something without the snipe, which would have been really helpful here, as the enemy artillery pieces would have not been able to fire back. Anyway, we're going to try our best to whittle down at least some of those Plague Claw Catapults, but at least without buffs, it looks like the Bugman's Rangers don't have the necessary damage to deal with all the artillery, and we're just going to have to leave them there. Ooh, and the enemy drops a Clanstone on one of our... Thunderers with Drake guns here, taking about 60, maybe 55% of their HP. Pretty darn good. Alright, but gotta be very wary of those Pestilence Clanstones. They are certainly highly damaging. Anyway, now it's time for the Bugmans to back off because they were looking like they were going to get overrun by the sheer amount of enemies, so they will head behind our formation of guns here. The Thunderers with Grudge Rakers, regular Thunderers, and Drake guns as well. At the very least, thanks to the... guys, what are you doing? You're gonna do more damage to these Bugman's Rangers than the enemy is. Really? They're firing on like one rat to... Ugh, okay. I gotta be careful with doing that in the future. Anyway, we'll hide behind the gunners, see if they can hold off the rat tide a little bit and allow the Bugman's Rangers to fire over their heads, though... I mean, the Bugman's Rangers are actually the better troop in terms of fighting in melee, but, well, at least the Grudge Rakers can use their guns in melee, so... And whoa. Alright, don't reposition, just get back behind the lines there. Bugmans, come on now. This is not the time for that. The enemy still has their artillery. They also have Lord Skrolk heading towards us, but fortunately the Lord has sighted him, and Skrolk is not quite fast enough by the looks of it to reach him, reach anybody, losing his head and dropping. Lovely. It looks like the rattling guns and a bunch of the range units, in fact, will focus Reclaimer Stout Peak here. I would say we're going to have to be careful, but these guys are very heavily armored. We got 121 armor on the Guildmaster, 30% missile resistance, 26% ward save, and I think he can take a few hits from rattling guns or from slings or from artillery, whoever wants to go after him. The rest of the artillery will also be focusing our various gun units as we try to hold off the Rat Tide. Actually turned out to be a pretty cool fight so far. Big old Rat Tide over on the left flank. We're doing our best to try to focus down that enemy Plague Priest in particular, which is causing a bit of havoc among the lines of Thunderers, Drake Guns, or Grudge Rakers. And hopefully we can snipe it down. In fact, we're going to turn one of our units of gunnery Thunderers, as in the handgun Thunderers, to fire away and hopefully pierce that armor and bring the big boy down. Alright, down to about 25% of its HP. Still taking damage on our Guildmaster. Oh, so this thing has a war banner. Probably not the best unit to use that on. Put it on a doom wheel or something. Anyway, down goes the Plague Priest. Lovely. Alright, and man, this guy's still... man, I wonder how much hits he's absorbed. It looks like every sling bullet only does 1 damage to him, so it'll be a bit of a while until they manage to trickle it down by about 5,000 to significantly damage him. Otherwise, we just gotta keep on holding, and what we can also do is, now that he's started to take damage, is actually close the distance with the enemy, and there we go. The rats are perfectly willing to kill off many of their own by dropping artillery and range fire on the Guildmaster. And that should help us out a little bit. Plus, there's another reason to move him into the tide of enemies like that. It's that this guy has a Rune of Immolation on him, and if the enemy should blob up sufficiently well, we can just explode a few of them that way. A nice big old hit with his Gatling gun as well. It always amuses me to send those guys into melee. Anyway, bounce power is at about, let's say, 65% in our favor, going a little bit better now. There's that Rune of Immolation, effectively destroying one of the units of Clan Rats. We have suffered a little bit of damage on, a lot of damage on the Thunder of the Drake Guns units. Over on the right flank, a lot of units are about half of their HP. Another unit of Drake Guns here, or is this another unit of Drake Guns here, is routed and rallied, and this one's kind of in the same position. And ooh, another Clan Stone going to come down. This poor unit of Grudge Rakers is probably going to get destroyed by it. However, the enemy is starting to run out of the critical mass of troops, even though we did have to send a couple of Bugmans into the melee to block some of the enemies up, but hey. These guys look pretty fantastic with their red and blue color scheme and their shields and their axes, and it's nice to see them fighting in melee. Anyway, our Grudge Rakers will rout. Our reinforcing lords still very slowly trying to move in to reinforce. And just a few more rats to clear. Too bad we didn't have any spare troops to send at the enemy artillery who were able to fire for this entire battle, but at the same time, it's sometimes nice to take artillery fire from the enemy rather than immediately destroying them, and depending on the situation. And obviously, since the Reclaimer armies aren't really super critical, they can feel free to lose units and stuff, generally speaking, as they're obviously not going to advance nearly as far as regular armies, and thus don't need to worry about spending an extra turn or two healing. Alright, more rats trying to charge towards us, but I believe these are pretty much the last of them. The enemy is just out of units at this point. Our guns will now advance forward. Our Bugmans are still laying down their withering quarrel fire, and it looks like the enemy has realized that it has no hope remaining. The Blackclaw crews, though they did survive the battle, get one last volley off and then shatter and break with the rest of the army. Lovely. Alright, that went pretty darn well. Certainly took damage, and I think a fight worth waiting for, all the admin aside. All right, you gotta admit that was actually a pretty darn cool fight. It's kind of the situation that I was talking about that I wanted to happen with Grimbrindle's army, in that the sheer number of enemy rats, even being basic clan rats and Skaven slaves, simply outnumbered the amount of bullets and bolts in the air, which is what I wanted for Grimbrindle's torpedoes, and they were able to blob up and essentially rush us, allowing their artillery to do good work and do somewhere between 20 and 30,000 damage altogether. Pretty neat looking fight. Long enough a brawl, and we took some damage and several of our units even routed. Granted, this isn't a real army either, but still pretty neat. I like it. Anyway, we will occupy the place like so. And we got the enemy physical resistance -5% enemy armies in region. Oh, that's actually a decent, trait. The swamp patricia and the control -5 are garbage, but the that trait is otherwise neat. You can hold on to that. Mission successful, enemy killed in battle. Lovely. Lovely. Anyway, with that, folks, I'm gonna call the episode here. I just didn't want to end the episode before we got another battle underway, as otherwise it would have felt a little bit too light on the battles. In light of all the admin that we did this episode, we'll make the admin lighter. Next episode, I will do the building admin, and then what other admin remains, like the, I don't know, swapping troops around between the troop trains, and then whatever else remains here. And then I will maybe end the turn. I gotta double check if there's any, besiege thing. Oh, right, this. Actually, what's the likelihood that these guys will actually sally? Actually, I think they won't, because it's a Pyrrhic victory. That means most likely they won't. Anyway, if I don't forget, I will end the turn and then do the admin of the next episode, or the next turn as well, and then we can get a little bit more fighting and going next episode as well. So, yeah, I still think it was worthy of our time, because we advanced a lot in that time, and, well, we got another portion of the Empire essentially fixed up. We've got, we got good stuff going. We're probably going to need another sort of a guardian army. We'll probably need to put a few armies around there somewhere. But anyway, it's not like we can't afford them if we need to. Next time, well, we continue advancing everywhere. Maybe declare war on Zatan, who I'm sure will give us a proper fight or two. We got the Citadel of Myrmidia and the Nurglites, or the Gorbad faction. Of course, the now massive border we have with the Nurglites, who are one of the more powerful factions remaining on the map. We are advancing towards Yvresse. We will continue fighting the Vampire Coast with, I think, which will eventually lead to some interesting battles with a gunnery shootout between Finn Arkandraskelson and them, guns on guns, which is always funs, and then otherwise keep fighting the Skaven, whether it be Scryer, Eshen, Molder, or Pestilence. Lovely. Anyway, more Dowie to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as they will determine how long this campaign continues to go for, how many of the grudges we have yet to clear. Ooh, 2 more legendary grudges nearly done. And we're well underway for this one as well. And the Silver Pinnacle thing. Yes, we're going to do that anyway. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.